Let us bless the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
Please be seated. Do not leave. That was not the dismissal. Have you ever thought about those dismissals that we say at the end of our services? The words of the deacon or assisting priest, "Let us bless the Lord," and our response, "Thanks be to God." Why do we bless the Lord? Why do we give thanks? Do we give thanks because of what God gives to us? Do we bless the Lord out of our abundance? What if we lost everything, experienced the worst tragedies, and endured tremendous physical suffering? And what if we knew that God knew that we did not deserve it, and God let it happen anyway? Would we still bless the Lord? Would we still give thanks to God? Would we curse God, perhaps? Well, that is the premise of the book of Job. First of all, let's be clear that this is not one of the historical or prophetic books of the Bible. It is among the writings in the Old Testament. It is a work of literature, and it is a profound theological story. It begins with a depiction of a man who seems to have everything. At least in the Old Testament, this was considered everything. 7 sons and 3 daughters. 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen, 500 donkeys, and very many servants. He was the greatest of all of the people of the East, we are told. But he lost it all. His children were killed, his animals and servants were either killed or captured by enemies, and then he himself suffered loathsome sores. What a phrase. Loathsome sores from the sole of his foot to the crown of his head. What was Job's response? He said, "Blessed be the name of the Lord." Now this phrase made it into our prayer book also. It is the beginning of the blessing delivered by a newly ordained bishop. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Job's wife suggested that he curse the Lord and die. His friends told him that all of this happened because he was a sinner. Job suffered a long time, and while he never cursed God, he did keep asking, why? Finally, in the passage that we heard this morning, God responded. Job's questions were not answered. Why was not addressed. Rather, Job was given the presence of the one who laid the foundations of the earth, who shut in the sea when it burst out from the womb, and made the clouds its garment, and thick darkness its swaddling band. Job was given the presence of the one who was there when the morning stars sang together and all the heavenly beings shouted for joy. Rather than answers, Job received the presence of God. In our lives, when the tragedies and disasters seem to pile up, one loss compounding another, we can ask, God, why is this happening? So-called friends might even suggest that we have earned our losses. We might really be tempted to curse the Lord or just die. But God's response is always the same: presence. God was there with us in the tragedies. God is with us now. Really, this is a Christmas message. God loves us so much that God came to us in our flesh. And it's a Good Friday message. God loves us so much as to suffer the worst sufferings along with us. And there's the Easter message too. When we succumb to the death of our bodies, life goes on, and we remain in God's presence forever. We might have to wait a long time for detailed answers to why, but for now, let us bless the Lord.
Thanks be